G'day guys, and welcome to something a little bit different from Angus. Today I have a garage review of the Tier 9 British heavy tank, the Conqueror. Now, Conqueror is so far my very favourite Tier 9 heavy, and I might explain why in a minute. The first thing to say about the Conqueror, though, is it's gorgeous. Have a look at this baby. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, that's how I feel about that. And you can see the way I have it set up at the moment is that I have a vertical stabilizer, I have a tank gun rammer, and a wet ammo rack, because this thing does get ammo racked a lot. Yeah, but let's go right back to basics. Let's talk about the Conqueror. So the Conqueror is on the British line. It's on the British heavy line. So it starts basically at the, well, you'd go the medium 2, medium 3, Matilda. I'd say that's probably the best way to describe that line, because you pick up the Matilda there, and the Matilda is such an awesome tank. Yeah. Through the Churchill 1, Churchill 7, Black Prince, the Carnarvon, and the Conqueror. So, let's talk about, first of all, the Carnarvon. So I'm just going to go back a bit, because the Carnarvon and the Conqueror, if you have a look, share the same chassis. In fact, the Conqueror was the real world tank, absolutely. The Carnarvon, however, did exist pretty much only as something that they used until they had these big bad boy turrets ready to go to get people used to how to drive a Conqueror. The turret, as you can see, comes straight off the Centurions. So the Centurions, the Brits decided during the early Cold War, the Centurions were going to be the tanks that were up there fighting the fight, and the Conquerors, these big bad boys, were going to be sitting way back and using this massive 120mm L1A1 gun to basically nail lots and lots of Soviet IS-3s, etc. And it may have worked, but that means for a heavy tank you'll find that the armour is absolute rubbish. Okay, so if you have a look, and I can't get Tank Inspector working at the moment, but if you have a look at the hull armour here, you have 130mm at the front, which obviously, if I click over to the Carnarvon, is exactly the same. So 130mm at the front, 51 at the sides, so paper thin at the sides, and 38 at the rear. The turret is a little bit better. The turret is 152 at the front, 89 at the sides, and 70 at the rear. But as you can see, you have this dirty great big gun mantlet right there. That will bounce a lot of shots. Unfortunately, the cheeks of the gun mantlet, the cheeks of the turrets, are very easily penned by just about anything. The top hatch, the commander's hatch, the commander's cupola, nobody really bothers aiming for that, because quite frankly, if you can see it, it's pretty easy. If you can see that, you can also see the cheeks of the turret. You'll also notice it has a pretty prominent turret ring right here. Shoot in underneath those two and you will jam that turret, which is a pain in the ass. Absolutely. So if we have a look, the Carnarvon suffers the same things, but it actually, if you have a notice there, 130mm. 165mm of turret armor to the Conqueror's 152. And the Carnarvon has a dirty great big gun mantlet like that, and a well sloped section here as well that things do tend to ping off. For the Conqueror, you don't get that. and that is a little frustrating because you actually go back in armor compared to the tier 8 heavy. So, something else to say about the Conqueror is that when you first grab the Conqueror, what you have is this. Okay, so you'll go through the Carnarvon. Let's have a look at the tech tree for the Carnarvon. Right. Give me the... There we go. Right. Okay, so you'll grind out, first of all, the Black Prince turret, the Centurion turret. That's when things start to get better. You'll pick up the 20 pounder. So the 20 pounder gun on the Carnarvon is a good gun. It's 230 average damage, is for a tier 8 heavy a lot lower than say an IS-3 at 390, but then again it's got other things going for it. So there's 20 pounder A barrel, and then there's the 20 pounder B barrel. You'll find the 20 pounder A and B, really the only difference is the aiming time goes down from 2.3, which is fine, to 1.9, which is exceptional, and it also goes down from 0.33 accuracy to 0.32 accuracy. So these guns are extremely accurate, super quick aiming time, which means by the time you get yourself up to the Conqueror, you should have the 20 pounder B barrel, because you will have to research it to get the Conqueror turret. So do yourself a massive favor and research it here with tier 8 matchmaking, because when you get into here at tier 9 matchmaking and you don't have the 20 pounder B barrel, that means you have to grind out all that XP, which is 45,000 XP for a gun at tier 9 that you should have already had at tier 8. And don't forget, what you've got is a Carnarvon with slightly better DPM, and you're at tier 9. That's a bitch of a way to do it, so don't do it. Always grind out that 20 pounder B barrel, then you go up to the Conqueror, and then all you have to do is get yourself the tracks, the suspension, and then the turret. And once you get that turret, things start to get a little bit better. Even if the original turret is actually better, you'll find it gives you an upgrade in DPM even for this 20 pounder B barrel. So once you fit this turret back on, which we'll do now, give me the Conqueror. Okay, let's get the top turret back on. Here we go. This is what it looks like. You'll have your 20 pounder B barrel. So if you see Conquerors running around like that, don't expect much. Okay, only when you see this baby with the big honkin' gun, that's when you know you have a serious heavy tank to either contend with or serious heavy tank as an ally. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the guns. Right, so if you've grinded through the Carnarvon, you'll be pretty familiar with this 20 pounder. Also, if you've driven the Centurion, you'll be familiar with this 20 pounder. It does has an average pen of 226, and you add in APCR, you'll get it to 258 with an average damage of 230. That's the tier 9 gun. But you can also equip this baby, the tier 10 gun. 120 millimeter L1A1. This baby, if you think about it, that's an American designation, and yes, they had an American gun on these tanks. As you can see, 120 millimeters, rate of fire goes down enormously from basically 1 every 6 seconds to pretty much once every 10 seconds, or just a bit under that. You can get it under that anyway. But 259 penetration, which is higher than the APCR on your 20 pounder, and doing 400 average damage. So that is a proper heavy tank. But have a look, the aiming time actually goes up a bit to 1.9 seconds. Oh my goodness, how can you ever cope with that? And 0.33, so the accuracy goes down just a touch as well. But seriously, you would happily trade that for that alpha damage. So that's finally, it's a gun where you look at tanks and tanks go, whoa, I do not want to be hit by that. Especially, of course, lower tier tanks, whereas the 20 pounder is frankly a medium tank gun. So, what makes this different? Well, let's compare it. Here's something I prepared earlier with the tank that with the gun that the IS-8 gets. So the IS-8 is pretty much an equivalent Russian tank, and it gets a very similar caliber of 122 millimeters. You'll see straight away its rate of fire is much lower. Its average penetration is about the same. It gets higher gold penetration and much lower HE penetration because, of course, the HESH that the British fire for high explosive is just so much better. Right, so your average damage is a little higher in your IS-8s, but look at your accuracy, 0.38, and your aiming time of 3.4 seconds. That'll tell you everything you need to know. The 120 millimeter L1A1 is a laser, where the M62T2, you just throw crap at a target and hope it hits. So the reason I've chosen this tank and this gun is because I'm going to show you the difference between these two guns actually in gameplay right now. So guys, this is a moment that was taken from the Ace Tanker game that I had in the Conqueror. So far I've only had one. Yeah, so what's just happened basically is I've just gone and killed a Carnarvon there. Now, on the map, you might be able to see there's a little red dot up by the train station. That's an IS-8, which I'm just about to become aware of. There's an arty sitting in the train station that the IS-8 is after. So let's just play this, and I won't be able to have any sound, so it's just going to be my voice, but you'll get the idea. Right, there's the IS-8. Okay, and he is after the M53, M55. But let's see what happens. Right, so he spotted me there. He recognized that I was a threat straight away. And we're at a distance of 176 meters. That is absolutely perfect for a Conqueror. So he spotted me and he realized that he was giving me his side. So he decided, right, I really need to get out of the way straight away. So that's what he did. And he snapshot. He has a 3.4 second aiming time. I have a 1.9 second aiming time. So of course, when he snaps, bang, he hits the road. I, on the other hand, can do this. Bang, 442 damage right there. And because I had Eagle Eye and I knew that he was ammo racked, I know that I can get the next shot in as well. So I back up for a minute. Maybe I didn't know that. Right. Anyway, I'm going to go forward. Right. And zoom in. Bang. Zoom out. Pull back. Of course, he shoots again, but he knows as I'm rapidly disappearing from his point of view, he knows he's got to shoot quickly, and so he misses again. And so I've just put 844 damage into him for 0 in return. Okay, and then very nicely, I'm about to take the next shot. He backs off, and the arty gets the kill. But that's the sort of thing you can pull off in a Conqueror, because you've got this fantastic aim time, you've got excellent accuracy. You can just nail people. Oh, I see you, bang. Whereas they're sitting there going, oh, I want these sights to settle, and then you pull out, and they never get the chance to fire at you. So guys, let's talk about one of the biggest hindrances to doing well in your Conqueror. I'm going to say it. It's your own team, right? If your own team have never driven this tank, they seem to expect you to drive it like a big Russian heavy, like the IS-8 or the STI or something like that. That's what they have in their heads, okay? And so they don't understand that this gun has amazing accuracy and amazing aim time. All they see is a big heavy tank. And so they will start screaming at you what a noob you are, because you don't go exactly where they think you should go. If you don't go into the town in Ruinberg, and you don't actually get into a corner fight with an STI, they start calling you names. This is because they are morons. If you've never driven the tank, do not have a go at people, at where people are placing them, unless there is an obvious mistake. Even if you think it's an obvious mistake, it may not be. Okay. Because, yeah, this is a sniper. And I've got a video coming up that will explain just what a good sniper this is. This can lead the offensive if it needs to, okay? But it's not what it was designed for. Way back in the 50s, this was designed to be 2 steps behind the Centurions who were leading the offensive. And it works in World of Tanks in exactly the same way, okay? So, always, guys, if you've never ever driven a Conqueror, and if you see a Conqueror doing something you think, that's the job for a medium tank, you'd be surprised, okay? Because the Conqueror has, let's have a look, 950 horsepower. It's not super fast, but it can get places, 34 kilometers an hour. It can get places quick enough that it's a reasonable flanker. But what it really excels at is keeping the enemy at arm's length, 100, 200, 300 meters away, and just blazing away. And I've got a replay coming up that will explain, I think, what this tank is really good at. A couple of times I do get it into a turning fight with an E75 at one point, but that's only when I have overwhelming numerical superiority. So yeah, your own team. Probably the biggest hindrance to doing well in this tank. Just remember, anyone who calls you a noob, who's never driven this Conqueror, is actually showing themselves who's the noob and who's not. Okay, so to show you the Conqueror in action, properly in action, I thought I would give you more than one Conqueror. I can give you 2 Conquerors for the price of one. So I'm in a platoon of 3. I got Freelander over on the right there, also in a Conqueror, and Devils over here on the left in his ISU 152 with the BL10. So we've decided, as top tier heavies, what we're going to do is we are going to go right around over the hill and basically come in from behind, see how that goes. Yeah, we may have to fight for the hill, we may not have to fight for the hill, so we'll see. Okay, so we're coming around, just waiting for Freelander. Anyway, nothing's going to happen for a while, other than we've got a whole lot of spam going on in chat right now. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we're headed for the hill. Right, okay, the AMX-12T and the Leopard are having a scout battle, which is all very good, and looks like we've got an E75 down the bottom there. So, nothing's really going on yet, but as we go to the top there, right, we've lost eyes there. I am going to sit right here behind this bush, and I'm going to wait for reinforcements. Good news is, reinforcements are close at hand, and 2 of the biggest guns on the battlefield. Right. Right. Away we go. Okay, just speeding it up a bit there. Okay, AMX. Right, he's about to have a very bad day, he's decided. Or she. And he's backing the hell out of there, which, frankly, is the correct move. Right. And so, I'm wary because I know there was an E75 around. And I'm also rather afraid that artillery is going to come raining down on my head. Okay, speaking of RT, there it is. Right, okay, so it's moving, right, but there is an E75. Bam. Completely forgot about that. Yeah. That's what you can do in this. You can nail that from God knows how far away. No problem at all. Okay, E75 fires, missed, AMX 12T is bouncing. Okay, into the side of an E75, no problem. Round the back, and E75 is just, yeah, it's no good for you, buddy. Hi. Oh, he's damaged my track, what a surprise. And bounces off me. Freelander hits him, Devils hits him. Oof, high bounce. Come on, Freelander, take him down. Right, I run for it. Done. Right, okay. Freelander's on 2 kills and I'm on 1. Nice. Okay, so we're taking fire. They're a bit annoyed at us by now, the enemy team, but that's alright. We're leading 4-3. AMX 5100 just is spotted there. Right. Right, Freelander's in the lead. Right, so we spot an ST1, VK 4502 and AMX 5100. Right, I come over the top here. I am going to decide I'm going to nail that VK. Somebody else does, sets him on fire. I took a hit, but it was absolutely worth it. Right, STI. Here we go. Fires. There you go, 400 on that. Freelander nails some more. Devils kicks his butt. Right, over to me. No, it wasn't me. Anyway, I think it was Freelander again. 3 kills. He's having a good day. Right, T54 is doing well. It's in cap. I'm trying to nail this T30. Yep. Check that out. Boom, boom. Easy as. Oh, here we go. IS-8. Yep, thank you. And again. Nice. And this thing is such a good sniper. You can hit people from the other side of the map. It is just no problem. Okay. There we go. It's just what you do in this tank. So when people are screaming at me, look, I really need to be, you should be going toe to toe with the IS-8. No, I shouldn't be. I should be exactly where I am. Cause absolute mayhem at 300 meters. And if you don't realise that, then you're a bloody idiot. So, if you're watching these guys, and you are one of those bloody idiots, Freelander's up to 5 kills now, who always screams at the Conqueror, "Ah, you're a heavy tank, what the hell are you doing over there?" Well, I hope you watch this and I hope you understand just what the Conqueror is capable of. And you allow the guys to drive their Conquerors to their strengths, okay? This thing needs to keep the enemy at arm's length. This thing should not go toe to toe with a Russian tank, because if it does, it loses. On the other hand, if this thing keeps the Ruskies at arm's length, this thing just kicks their butt. So, Freelander is looking like he could pull a Top Gun here. I've only got the 1 kill, but I've racked up 4,000 damage, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Over there. AMX. There you go, I kill the AMX. Okay, I'm saying I'm not going to kill this Yag Tiger. I'm leaving it for you, Freelander. And somebody else gets him, Boom. He doesn't get the Top Gun. But still, 4,296 damage. That's not bad. And that's what you can do in a Carnarvon. In a platoon of Carnarvons, wow. Yeah, when everything stays pretty much at arm's length, you can absolutely nail them. But don't try and get in a turning fight with a Russian tank, because they will just smash you. And please, guys, try not to force the British heavies on your tier, the high-end British heavies like the Carnarvons, the Conquerors, and the FV215Bs. Try not to expect them to get into these close quarters knife fights, because this is not a knife fighter. This is a sniper. Allow the guys to drive it as it should be driven, and you'll win. Okay. I don't have the post-game stats for this one, but yeah, I did 4,000. I think Freelander did 4,000 damage as well. He got the 5 kills, and I only got the 2. But no, we kicked absolute butt, and that was a hell of a lot of fun. So guys, to sum up, what can I say about this tank? It's absolutely awesome, but it's awesome only when driven in the correct manner. If you drive this like a big Soviet heavy, you will be dead so fast your head will spin. Okay, you'll do maybe 800 points of damage, and the game will be over. On the other hand, if you hold back a bit, allow some of the other tanks that can actually do that to go first, you'll find you can easily do your own points of damage, like 2,000 damage, your own amount of hit points and damage, or more. And often much, much more. So keep the enemy at arm's length. And I know I said, and with that, I'm going to sign off. So this is Angus signing off.